All right, welcome to the meeting on the Accelerated Repair Committee. As pursuant, I don't have the actual language in front of me, but pursuant to the governor's announcement that these public meetings can be held virtual as long as we give the public the access to listen to the meetings, which we have provided a YouTube address on our posting. If anyone's listening and wants to go to that address, it is www.youtube.com/TheBrocktonChannels/live, and that you can view and listen to our meetings. So I'd like to call the meeting to order. And before we head to item number 2, I know that City Superintendent of Buildings, Jim Plouffe, is on the line. And everyone else, I think, is familiar with what we're dealing with. But just to give them some quick background, we did roof replacements in some of our schools. And on a couple of them, the contractor, which is Reliable Roofing, is claiming that the work conditions for replacing those roofs were different than what was spec'd out in the specs. And so once the project is basically complete, he submitted change orders, pretty expensive change orders, which we are now in litigation over. Well, we're not in litigation, but we're pre-litigation.
No, we are in litigation.
We are in litigation. Okay. So Peter is our lawyer for Jim. He's been working with Karen in the city law office on this. So what we're trying to do today is discuss finishing and paying out the contract balance.
And actually, Aldo, this is more appropriate for executive session. Okay. This kind of preface. So I would, I'm happy in executive session, Aldo, to, and that doesn't quite represent what the substance of the discussion is. So I'm happy to explain sort of the background of this when we get into executive session.
Okay. So since we need to do that before we discuss anything further, I guess the proper procedure is to take a roll call vote to enter into executive session. Yeah.
So the way what I would recommend, just in terms of crossing T's and dotting I's under the open meeting laws, the chair should state the purpose as it appears in the agenda, and declare. The way you do it is you state the purpose, declare that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the city, and then you take the roll call vote. And then the chair announces whether the open session will reconvene at the conclusion of the executive session. Okay. So and I'm happy to sort of guide the chair through that process if needed.
Okay, technically the chair is the superintendent of buildings on this, but maybe if you want to guide through that, I guess, since technically
one question, Ozzy, one question. Do we need a motion to go into executive session?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I move that we go into executive session.
Second.
Any discussion? If I could have a roll call vote on that.
And so I think that this is and not to belabor it, but just for purposes of a motion, the motion should be to go into executive session for the purpose as it's stated in the agenda, which was an executive session pursuant to General Laws Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy and obtain advice of counsel with respect to the litigation entitled Reliable Roofing and Sheet Metal LLC versus the City of Brockton, Middlesex Superior Court, Civil Action 1781 CV 02805B.
Ozzy, is that what you want to say?
That's what I accept that as an amendment to the motion.
Okay.
Which means we have to vote on that first and then the motion.
Yes.
Need a second.
So, I seconded it.
Okay. Do a roll call.
We vote on the amendment.
Vote on the amendment.
And the chair should declare that the reason is that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the city.
Okay. Am I able to speak for the chair, which is Superintendent of Buildings?
May I? This is Jim Plouffe, the Superintendent of Buildings. Is it possible for me to defer the chairship for this meeting to another person, Council?
I would just, and again, I don't want to.
The answer is yes to that.
I
The
would
answer is
say, I would
yes.
just, yeah, I would just say, you can just declare that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the city.
Okay, I would say the open meeting, as chair, the open meeting would be a detrimental effect on the city's position in this instance. And I believe that a executive session is warranted
In the litigating position of the city, right?
in the litigating position of the city, correct?
Right, okay.
And I did hear a motion for to go into executive session. In addition, I heard a motion for an amendment to include the information on the warrant, on the agenda. And I heard I'm going to ask for a vote for the amendment. I'm going to go through the order that I see here on my screen. And I'm going to ask for a roll call vote to go in. This is for the amendment first.
Okay.
Ken Thompson,
Yes.
Tim Sullivan,
Yes.
Aldo,
Yes.
Margaret.
Margaret's not on.
Voting. Okay. Mr. Thomas, you're muted.
Yes.
Councilor Azak.
Yes.
And then I believe Mr. Jordan.
Yes.
Okay. Any other person that is a voting member that did not give their vote? I have heard all affirmative. No one left here to vote in the negative. So the amendment passes. Now for the original motion to go into executive session. Ken Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan,
Yes.
Mr. Petronio,
Yes.
Mr. Thomas,
Yes.
Councilor Azak,
Yes.
Mr. Jordan.
Yes.
Hearing all in the affirmative and having no one left to be in the negative, I suggest we go to executive session right now.
And you just have to announce whether we'll reconvene an open session after the executive session.
And we shall reconvene after executive session into open session.